So you're new to Genshin, you've been doing some pulls, you've been showing some primos to the wonderful banner archons, and you got 4-star, the Ally Flash. I'm gonna say it wrong so many times in this video. Bear with me, I still can't pronounce it right on the fly. So, in this video, we're going to look at this weapon, its stats, its passive, who it can be good for. It does get up Elemental Mastery as its main stat, which can be very, very good. The problem is that it doesn't give a ton of Elemental Mastery. Its passive increases damage dealt by the character equipping this by 12%. Taking damage dispels this effect for 5 seconds. Now, to show this weapon in action, we're actually going to take it away from our lovely weapon model Benny for the time being, and we're going to give him Skyward Blade. Why? Because Skyward Blade and Ally Flash right now have a very similar base attack, and Skyward Blade is going to allow us to show a base damage from a similar base attack weapon without any added passive thingies affecting the damage. So when Benny swings Skyward Blade on his normal attacks, he does 173. He is going to have some crits in there if he can get past the shield. So he is going to be staying around the upper 100s for normal non-crit, upper 100s, lower 200s on some of those. With the crits, it is going to be upper 300s into the low to mid 400s. Now, if we give him back Ally Flash and we go back to these same hilly curls, we are going to attack them again and see what the damage is now. And we're going to do our best to avoid taking damage at first. So on the very first hit, non-crit, we have 196. That is increasing the damage from the passive, just overall damage, increasing it by that 12%. It's going to be shifting more to a low 200 to mid 200 on the non-crits. He is still going to have some high 100s in there, but the shift is up. Now, if we take damage, his first swing is 175. So he has lost 20 damage just because he took some damage, which is going to equal around that 12%, right? If he was hitting 200 damage, 10% would be 20 of that. We went from 190 something to 170 something. There's a little bit of math going on. This is going to be around 12%. That is from he has now lost the passive and he's doing less damage because of it. So now we're going to talk about some characters that this weapon can be good for. And we're going to start off with our weapon model, Benny. Why can this weapon be good for Benny? Well, we're going to once again compare it to the Skyward Blade. Both of them are level 20, so instead of showing you on here, I'm going to bring up this handy dandy graph. Now, at level 90, the Ally Flash has 620 base attack, which is very, very high, especially for a 4-star weapon. I believe the Ally Flash is one of, if not the highest, base attack swords 4-star in the game. Now, if we bring up another handy dandy graph, this is Skyward Blade's base attack, which is 608. Now, the reason that this is important is because Bennett's burst, the way that it buffs attack, is based on Bennett's base attack. Now, if we open up Benny's stats and we look here, it is this white number. Not the white plus the green, just the white number. That is how much Benny's burst will buff in attack. If we then swap to something like Mist Splitter at level 90, you can see that number goes way up. This is one of his best weapons for buffing, so it makes sense that it would go up super, super high. Now, Mist Splitter's base attack is 674, so that is a 54 decrease in base attack between Mist Splitter and the Ally Flash. However, the Ally Flash is a 4-star weapon and is much easier to get, especially right now, than Mist Splitter. So this is a phenomenal weapon for Benny. I believe it is his best 4-star because of how high its base attack is. He can appreciate the elemental mastery, especially if he's in a team that is doing vaporize or melt reactions. He can use that to increase, just maybe he can just come in there and pop his burst and, get an 80 or 90K and then, jump out. You're also not really going to have to worry about him taking damage to lose the passive. Not that you're necessarily worried about the passive, but you're going to be coming on the field, popping his burst, using his skill, going off the field. So Benny's not going to have a ton of time on field. He's not going to have to worry about that passive. So another character that can very much use this weapon specifically for the high base attack is going to be like Jean. Jean's healing is based on her overall attack, not just her weapon, but her artifacts too. And this weapon can help increase the attack up if you have enough energy recharge on her where you don't need the energy recharge. Also, if you are using her in a Sunfire team with Bennett or other elements present, that extra elemental mastery isn't going to hurt whenever she causes some reactions. So she can appreciate the elemental mastery. She probably would appreciate an attack percent or an ER instead, but the ally flash is a very good option for Jean if she has enough energy recharge. Now, in that same vein, in that same line of thinking, we have Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi's healing is also based off of her attack, so it's going to be another character just like Jean that can really appreciate that extra base attack on this weapon. Now, again, if you are in a team like a Melt team, then she might be able to do some damage, but it's really going to be for healing. It's going to increase Chi-Chi's healing. Now we're going to talk about 3 characters that can use this weapon. However, I believe that there is another option that is better. Another 4-star that is better, actually. First, we have Kuki Shinobu. Kuki Shinobu, if especially if you're using her in a Hyper Bloom team, she wants the Elemental Mastery. Now, Iron Sting is going to give around 3 times as much Elemental Mastery as the Ally Flash. So this would be a better weapon, especially in something like a Hyper Bloom team. But if you, for some reason, can't get Iron Sting, don't have Iron Sting, have it on somebody else, the Ally Flash can be used in a pinch. I still recommend Iron Sting, though. And with Kuki's skill, she does do self-damage. So I don't know if that actually gets rid of the passive, if that, like, you know, takes gives you the 5 seconds of not getting the bonus of the passive. I don't know if that counts. I believe it does because it just says takes damage, not if the enemy damages you. Next is going to be Kirara. Now, Kirara does produce a shield, so she'll be able to keep that passive up a lot easier. She does appreciate some elemental mastery. All Dendro reactions appreciate elemental mastery. But if you're using her for an on-field bloom driver, like holding down her skill and like entering the terrifying cat box of death doom mode, then she's going to want Iron Sting. Again, just more elemental mastery. It's Ally Flash isn't going to be a great weapon for Kuki, Kirara, and this last character, but it can be used in a pinch. Finally, we are going to end on Kazuha. Again, another character that loves elemental mastery, and if you give him Ally Flash instead of Iron Sting, he's going to be missing that elemental mastery just like he misses his friend. So it's really, Iron Sting is still going to be better than Ally Flash. Again, if you have Iron Sting on somebody else, you can still use Ally Flash, but just use Iron Sting for that. That is going to be it for this video. If you do have any questions, comments, concerns for Kazuha, please leave a comment down below. Myself or somebody else will be sure to answer it, and I will see you in the next one.